Well, hello to you. I'm Rick Foster, and I'm here to make a presentation about how to make a percussion cap die out of wood, and present this to you. Homemade percussion cap video by Rick Foster. And in this video I will demonstrate how to make percussion cap die out of wood, and I will demonstrate how to use the die to make percussion caps that you can use to fire your percussion black powder firearms, rifles and revolvers. And there are many YouTube videos demonstrating how to make percussion caps, and most of them are really good. One thing about them is they typically use a commercially bought die manufactured by Tackle Cap or 6-shooters. Nothing wrong with those dies. I just wanted to make my own, and I wanted to demonstrate that for you. And I'm demonstrating a homemade wooden die that will take very little cost to make and still works. There's some materials you'll need. You'll need a knife, a carving knife, a drill bit for 1/4 inch, a piece of wood, rather like this one, which is 2.5 by 1/2, and it can be 6, 8, 10 inches long, however long you want it. And I use this as the die maker to make the die. You'll need several other things. Wood carving knife, or pocket knife that's sharp enough to do the job. The wood has to be of some kind of hardwood. Oak will work. I'm not sure what this is. It came from a piece of firewood. And you'll need a ruler, some kind of way to measure, and other things will help you be a compass to make circle. And to make the percussion caps, I'll get to that a little bit later, but I will demonstrate the die maker, how the die works, before I show you how to make one of them. You'll need a 1/4 inch drill bit, and maybe a little bit larger drill bit to do a countersink. You can see that right there. Does that work? Well, countersink's helpful, but it's not big enough. And the 1/4 inch bit fits into the hole very well if it's big enough. Let's see here. And the hole I've drilled here is probably a little bit bigger than that. So you'll have to determine the size of the hole, basic hole first. Let's look at percussion caps. This is a can of number 11 CCI percussion caps. And those of you who use percussion rifles, these number 11s are the ones you would use. And you put a piece of paper behind that. And the number 10s are the ones typically used for revolvers. Let's see, move this a little bit. The size, it's helpful to know the size of the percussion caps, commercial percussion caps, because you want to make a percussion cap that fits on your pistol or your rifle. And this is one of my cap and ball revolvers. This is a Pieta brass frame replica of the Remington 1858 New Model Army. Actually, it was not issued until 1860s. But it's a good, modern, strong, even though the talk about the brass frames not being strong enough, they're probably not as strong as the steel ones, but it'll work very well. And so I use my own homemade percussion caps on these, and I will demonstrate those two for you. Well, what about the commercial percussion caps? Let's look at the size of those. The caliper here. These are .174 diameter. The drill bit I'm using is .214. And I think that the hole you drill and the bit to do it has to be a little larger than the commercial size percussion caps. I'm going to demonstrate making the cap, not making it charged where it shoots, but I'll show you what I do to make one, how it works. This is the board I use to make the percussion cap. You see the star that's carved there? So I'll call this a star board. That star board is the place you make the percussion caps. And I use to make the caps these little discs that I make from aluminum that I've salvaged from soda cans. Now these are cut with a 9/16 hole punch. And you can see that. Now then, how do I make a cap with that? Well, I center it over the star. And I'm going to shift my camera down so you can see it a little better. You see, I put that disc over that star. And there are a number of ways to do it. I started out with a drill press that was not turned on. I just had a drill bit turned upside down, and I used it to make the cap cups. I'm using this, making this cap cup, but it has no powder in it or no primer. And you'll see how it works. I forced the cap through there with this. It was a screwdriver that I cut off. Remember, the hole was .214. This screwdriver is .194. So, and you can play around and experiment and find the drill bits that work for you. So I'll take this and put this cut off screwdriver right in the center of the disc, which is right in the center of the star. All right. All right. Now I've made a cup. I'll make a couple more of those. And let's measure the diameter of those. And these are not commercial diameter, they function though. It's .230 diameter. And how does that fit on the revolver? Actually, very well. You see. So it's important that it fits, more important that it satisfies a particular diameter that you measure. I could make it a little bit smaller than that. So I'm going to make about 3 of these to show you the methods. So I'll take the disc, put it over the star, carefully center it, and this push rod, whatever it could be for you, and center it down there and push it down very simply. And makes a cup. That one's a little bit off center. if you put marks around the star, it shows you where the center is. That is off center. Let's try to get it correct at this time. It's a little bit of a tedious process, but less tedious than having no percussion caps. Okay. This one is very nicely done. So you compare those to a commercial number 11 cap. See, the number 11 cap is a little shorter. I could use a smaller diameter cutter and make those. I might try that. Down from a 9/16 to a 1/2. All right. The next step here is to demonstrate how to make this star. The star is this hole drilled in the wood, the proper diameter that you might have to work on finding for yourself. And this bit I use is my drilling, not quite randomly selected, but pretty close. It matches the little more than the external diameter of the commercial commercial percussion cap. So I start with a hole I drilled and put this countersink in it. But the countersink is not enough to provide a release. What happens when you have just the hole by itself, or even with the countersink? You put your disc over that and try to drive it through. What you get is a not a cup that's complete, but one that has a hole torn in it. it just rips it apart because there's no room for it to shape as it goes through the hole. So my answer to that was this star. So I'm going to work on making the star right quick with you. I take a pencil and I draw a circle really around about an inch or a quarter, inch and a quarter around the center of the hole. And then I take and draw 6 points. Let me get a better pencil. You can do 8 if you want. So these 6 points are the places I'm going to cut the wedges. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take the carving tool and broaden the countersink by so that the hole has a curved surface going into the bottom. It takes a little time to do the carving, but it's not time is wasting. I want it so that there are no sharp corners inside that hole. I want it to be smooth enough, curved enough so that the aluminum forms into that hole. All right. I'm going to redraw my star here a little bit. All right. Now you can see where I cut the countersink with the carving tool, And I have those 6 lines for which now I'll start cutting the star shape. And if you choose to make this kind of a tool, you just have to experiment with it a bit. What the star wedges do is that when you push the percussion cap discs into this hole, it gives room for the cap to fold. My idea for this came out from looking at those commercial percussion caps. They have folds in them, and I'm sure that in their factory they have a way to take a disc of whatever metal they use, brass or copper, push it through a hole, and it forms that cup, after which they put some kind of a primer charge in it. And I'm not going to deal with the primer charge in this particular video, but I will in the next one and demonstrate what I have used. Okay. You see, I've got the star in that, around that hole, just like with the other one. Now then, I'm not through with that though, because I want the hole itself to have wedges in it. So I use these this is a squared file. I use it to file. Wedges in the hole. So the percussion cap forms. I'm guessing it might be more effective with 8 instead of 6, but I have not tried that yet. All right, what I have here is the star that's cut, and I have file grooves in the hole and across the surface of the star. And this is enough to see if we can make a percussion cap cup with this new starboard. I call it a starboard, not like shipboard starboard, but board with a star in it. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. The next video will show about cutting these discs and charging them with I use these roll caps as a charger. In fact, I may do one of those right now just to see how it works. All right, I've got a disc cut out of aluminum. No, put it on the new one here. Let's see. I'm lost without that drill. Here's that screwdriver bit right here. I'm going to use to see if I can make a cup out of this new star. Well, it looks good. Now I'm going to make one and put a charge in it. I'll just spend much time with that with this one here, and we'll see how we do. The way I do it is I use scissors and cut. Three of the some people do other ways. There are many ways to put a charge or a prime for charging one of these cups with match heads, and Six Shooters has their primer, which is probably the best of the primers. I haven't taken the effort to buy one of those, so I have here 3, and I fold it in such a way that the 3 are on top of each other. And then I take a disc I haven't seen anybody else do it this way, but I think it works fairly well. Take the disc, put it over the hole on the star, and the 3 caps, I'll put them over the center of the disc. Center it. Important that it's centered. Or you won't have a balanced. Okay. So I have the disc, and I'll put the cap centered over that. Okay. Another thing you can do is add a little bit of black powder in that, but I'm not doing that with this one. Again, it's a tedious, slow process, but you do get a cap out of it. Excuse my taking time here. I want to get it as centered as possible. There we go. use a smaller one here to push it through. All right. Here we have a percussion cap. With 3 roll caps in it. Push down in there. Now let's see if it works. Okay. It's fired. Was it enough to set off a charge? Well, I don't have an answer for that right here today. See, if you put on a regular commercial cap, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I should have warned you. I didn't know it was going to be that loud. That was a commercially made percussion kit. Okay. Now you can see the purpose of this is to make a percussion cap that works. Now that commercial one was really very loud and obviously very effective. Haven't used them in a long time and doesn't remember how powerful they were. So I'm through with this video right now. Thank you.